Hello, hello, hello. I accidentally wound up on the wrong stream. So we're starting a couple minutes late. Let me get a little organized here. All right. Hello, hello. It looks like are we live? Am I on the right stream? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. It could say, let's see. Am I on the right stream? That's the question. Yes, it says I'm live. Oh, good. These things are very complicated. I feel that I am a Luddite. Was that what they say? A Luddite? A Luddite? What is it? I'm one of those people that just, I do like modern appliances. I do. I'm addicted to the internet, for example, but there's another part of me that doesn't like a lot of technology. All right. So, welcome, everybody. Give everybody a chance to find the stream. It dawns on me. I don't really have a lot of information on the stream. While people file in, I'm just going to do some cutting and pasting here because it just dawned on me that the stream didn't have any information about me. So I will do that. Just take a minute to fill in this part here. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Now I am awake. I am present. I'm Allegra because my cat is shedding. Oh my God. She has twice as much fur. She's so fluffy. She's so fluffy. But I did get a bit of a reaction to her. So, yeah, I covered this area. Hopefully, it will decrease the number of coughing fits I have. How is everybody doing? Is everybody good? Yeah, you're holding up. Hi, Prue. Intuitive Kathy, hi. Scorpio, hi. Hi, Terry. Hi, Darren. Good to see you, Darren. Hi, Wendy Bird. Always a blessing to see Wendy. Hattie, hello. Ernest, hello. Cynthia Johnson, Genevieve. I love that name, Genevieve. Hello. Yeah, that's what we do on Thursdays. Hot topics. But instead of it saying hot topics, I just do, that. But it's all hot topics. Thursdays is an opportunity. People get off work. We get together around 5 o'clock, and then people requested a couple of years ago, can we have a happy hour? It was just like I don't was it I don't think it was Wendy. Somebody else had asked if we could get together on. People get off work, they want to have drinks, and people will often go to restaurants and sit by themselves, and then they'll watch Taco Tuesdays and so the purpose of Taco Tuesdays and Hot Topics happening at 5 o'clock is because that's when people get out of work. They'll go and have drinks, and it's an opportunity for people to come together, have drinks, and have a virtual happy hour. Yeah, so that's basically what this is. It's just a happy hour. Whatever you guys want to talk about is up to you. I don't really usually prep anything for the Thursday show. Sometimes I'll do a remote view or remote views for the week, and then people will ask me to go through everything again because sometimes people need clarification about some of the remote views. I did a deep dive reading on just the energy of the collective in terms of just how the planet is dealing with the changes. And that was earlier today. And I felt like we had some good information that came in. So, cheers, everyone. Hi, Desiree, my love. How are you? So, how is everybody holding up with the hot or with the changes in temperature? The weather has really gone crazy. Evidently, Florida got the snow that was supposed to hit. I don't know, I'm so confused. How are you guys holding up? Anybody having crazy weather? You know, it's beautiful. I can't complain. It is making me a little nervous, though, that we are getting such a dry winter. This is unusual for Oregon. As much as I enjoy it because I get to be out every day, nice chilly hike with fresh air, no rain, right? Who doesn't like that? But I was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm, like, looking at this weather and I'm thinking, "I don't think we get winters like this, do we?" In Oregon, man, where's the clouds and the rain, you know? Is this anybody else here in Oregon right now, like Portland? Why is it so nice? This is freaking gonna be February. I mean, like, this is very unusual for us. It's not unusual that we'll get 100 days of straight rain. I mean, I grew up where literally we would get 100 days of straight rain. I was born in Bremerton, Washington. You know, I'm an island girl, right? So, um, yeah, the Puget Sound. I was birthed on the waters of the Puget Sound, right? So but you adapt. It was the culture and the environment of that part of the world when I was a child that we would go often 100 days or more with pouring rain. So, you adapt to a culture like that, and how we adapted was we played a lot of board games. We played a lot of card games, chess, checkers, because you gotta be able to entertain kids and they can't go outside. So, kids read a lot, but you'll also see when you go to Seattle, like the whole grunge scene in Seattle, it's really anti-sports. Like, it's a culture that is anti-sports, like, "Jocks, jock, jock," and the reason why that's such a big I think such a big part of the or the culture of Seattle is because those kids never when they went out in the rain, they just got rained on, you know, in their grunge clothing, and maybe you pick up a guitar and talk about how depressed you are. But, uh, I mean, we do have some sports. We do still do sports, but it's rains all the time. So who you don't wanna go out and play football when it's raining. You don't wanna go out and play basketball when it's you can do it inside, but who has a basketball court in their house? At school, sure, but not at home. So, we'd play in the basement, and most of my friends had rec rooms, but yeah, can you imagine? I mean, like, I don't even think about it anymore. I don't think about how I was raised as unusual that we would have 100 straight rain. I'd be looking outside and it'd be pouring rain, and then the next day pouring rain forever, just pouring rain. Like, it would go days rainy in Seattle, just rain, rain, rain. It's fine with us. That it's like, isn't this the way it's supposed to be? But then we would have friends or people come to visit us that came from California or somewhere else, and they would be, like, horrified, "When does the rain It doesn't. The rain never stops, right? It's like, it just rains and rains and rains. Yeah. Alright, so I think we've got enough people here. We have 171 people here, so I think we can go ahead and excuse me. Oh, there's a big storm heading your way? Good, because we've had some arson and some fires that made me very nervous, and so, I don't like seeing the forest and this area, dry. We had a major fire in Multnomah, some kids were playing with firecrackers that burnt the entire thing down. Went up like matchsticks because this is not the ecosystem that we grew up with. You know, those of us who are old timers I'm 61 years old, you know, like, we have seen the ecological changes, but the lack of rain is stunning just in the last 15 to 20 years, the ecological systems like, how it has changed is pretty stunning. Okay. Excuse me. Well, who knows if she is gonna be excuse me, if she is even gonna be in power because there are people in China actively working to remove she who has tried to centralize his power, right? So, who knows what's gonna happen invade in 2027, yeah, right. What the heck's gonna be happening in 20 who even knows if this guy's gonna be right? Someday it's gonna happen. This is why I've gotten on with my life. I stay aware of what's going on politically. I vote my conscience, but I saw the mental state I got in the last time that under 45. You know, I'm tired of being played by mentally ill people, you know? I'm tired of being tortured. It goes back to what my friend Chuck Bransfield has said, you know, he's gone on record and talked about it, which is that, you know, you are being manipulated, you are being played. Do you wanna continue to be played? Or are you gonna stop walking on eggshells? And I've decided to stop walking on eggshells. Be aware of what's going on politically. Vote blue if you're a Democrat, you know, nothing changes, it's just that I can't continue to live my life like that. It's not good for my mental health. I have to do what's best for my mental health. And after last Tuesday, what happened to Chuck and I, we had people crying, people were calling and crying with Chuck. We had after that experience of what I don't know who was here on Tuesday, we both said, "You know what? We've gotta change the energy because we can't do 4 years of this." I mean, it's just, it's not healthy for us. You have to find a way. We have to find a way to create a world for ourselves that's bigger than that, and we have to protect our friends, and we have to conduct ourselves in ways that are ethical, but I'm not gonna let myself be having a breakdown. I'm just not it's not gonna happen. Did you see Taco Tuesday? It was, you know, we have to break free from that. We don't need this. We don't need this. It's not good for us. All right. So without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring in the empath's prayer. Like I said, my cat is shedding, but the good news is, that I am on my allergy medicine, so it should be tolerable. I also was supposed to put a thing down for the dander, and I completely forgot, so without further ado, I'm just gonna take care of something. Okay. Just a little added protection for me. Something my doctor recommended was just wipe everything down and, um, take my allergy meds so that I, can have a much more pleasant Hot Topics Thursdays with you all without all those coughing fits. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna bring in the empath prayer. If you would like to be included in this prayer, please go ahead and give us your name. If you want us to pray for you to receive a healing at this time, we are a group of people that are optimistic. We are a group of people that are optimists. We believe you can be anything you want to be if it's positive and it's good for the planet. So this is the positive place, and, so if you would like to receive a healing and for all of us to pray for you, then we would like to do that for you. So give us your name or the name of someone you love who needs support, and we will happily bring in a special prayer for you. And I also wanted to announce while people are putting the names down of those that need prayers, that, Chuck and I started a book club. We get together, once a month, and this month we've chosen 1001 Nights by F.L. Cal. Thank you. Ms. Kalb for that. And you can get it on Amazon. It's a retelling of 1001 Nights, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And we will be having FL Kalb in our studios February 11th. So be sure you've got plenty of time to read the book. It is a novelette. It is not, I mean, it's not too long. I think it's only 200 and something pages, and it's a quick read. I just think you'll enjoy it. There you go. All right, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring in the Empath prayer. I am Israeli. I do have dual citizenship with the state of Israel. That is true. But I was born in the United States. Yeah, that's true. Ooh, you guys know me. Yeah, I am Israeli. All right, let's do it. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively, we say, Amen. And for those of you who have requested a healing for yourselves and your loved ones at this time, I just wanted to send love and prayers to you. May you receive a perfect healing. We come together and ask that you receive a perfect healing for you and those you love, that they be healed in mind, body, and spirit. And together collectively again, we say, Amen. May all souls be healed. Thank you, Intuitive Kathy. We also want to give special prayers to those people who have lost loved ones in the horrible crash that took place in DC. Amen, amen, amen. Well, as many of you know, during Taco Tuesdays, if you were here, Chuck and I were trying to support people. People were very upset about everything that's been going on. But one of the things that happened when we were asked to look at the future of DC is that we saw a tower as the final outcome, and we were both confused. We saw a shakeup, something aggressive over DC, and we didn't know what that was, if it was going to be a stock market crash, but it was like, whoa, tower. It could be, and then as we meditate on it, tower over DC, crash over DC, right? We had talked about that, electric storms, this crash. So I could try and pull it up for you guys, but some of you remember on Tuesday when we did the reading, but this has led some people to ask me if things are fated, because they do remember us having that conversation. So, a big tower over DC, what's going to happen in DC, crash tower, and then a couple days later, crash tower. So, the conversation comes up, are some things fated? I think some things are fated. Some things cannot be prevented, because this kind of energy is the same energy I had when Princess Diana died. I had a dream that she was chased through a tunnel, and there were people surrounding her on motorcycles, and she was pulled. I saw the channel of I was standing in Dover, and I saw Calais, and I saw the channel, and then I saw her. That was my vision, and then in the dream, I saw her being carried away by people on mopeds, like motorcycles, that terrorizing her. And being swept away, and I saw this channel, like, she was carried away on the other side of the channel. And I was so upset, and I told my boyfriend, I woke up, "I'm really upset about this," and then she was dead that night, midnight. So, this is the conversation people wanted to have. What does it mean that you can see it and then it happens? Could we have prevented it? Could we have told Princess Diana to stay home that night, or, told people not to fly around the DC area? I don't know, but, I mean, I don't have the answer. Perhaps some things are just there could be some kind of mathematical equation where every that is beyond the comprehension of humans, all these mathematical calculations that are coming together in such a way that it's very hard for us to avoid certain things. And everything was coming together to be the perfect storm to and what I think was happening on a higher level in terms of the crash is that everything was culminating from the greater perspective. If something doesn't change with this schedule, with these flights, with these conditions, we're gonna see a crash over DC next week. So, is that the same as predetermined? No, I think it's a way that we can understand free choice, but also see that things are predetermined in the sense that there are huge mathematical equations that go into the perfect storm that led to that accident. But the tickets had already been bought. The plane was already scheduled. The helicopter was already scheduled, and the conditions were already created. And so that was probably why it came in, that the cards fell that way. But I remember that when Chuck and I saw it, the energy was so violent that I remember thinking like, "What the hell is that? What are we looking at, a stock market adjustment?" We have seen a stock market adjustment, but this was much more kind of a crash energy. That is what you would that's what you would think when you get a kind of an energy of a tower. Yeah. Let's do some blitzes. Okay. You're allergic to your cat too? I'm not allergic to my cat all the time, but when she starts to shed right now, there's huge chunks of fur, like huge chunks of it. Um, right around winter, she gets like a really burly coat and then chunks come out, and then it's, huge amounts of dander come off her, and I can tolerate her in small amounts, but not when she's has a lot of dander coming off of her. Will Orange Crush go after Social Security? Let's take a look. I don't think he's gonna be able to because there's so much protection, and also you have to realize that there are people in DC, they don't wanna lose their Social Security, and they don't want their friends to lose their Social Security. So another way of looking at it is they're not going to lose their Social Security because if nothing else, then for their own self-interest and the fact that they have friends and family that are like, "You better protect my Social Security, Joe. Yeah, 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 I'm going to DC and I'm gonna protect everybody's Social Security." The reason why I think it would be really hard to get rid of Social Security is because it's too popular of a program, everybody's invested in it, and, it would create too much of a kind of it's the program they're not gonna let you slash. Yeah. My prediction was that we would begin to change our military and make it more cost effective because these large maintaining nuclear weapons is a program we cannot continue to finance. That's the bottom line. I'm gonna and I had said what I had predicted is that we would probably begin denuclearization in the next 5 to 10 years. We don't need it. We can use Star Wars to patrol and defend. We can put up shields. And they're expensive to maintain, and they put the whole world at risk, and so for that reason, America will choose, to denuclearize in the next 10 years. Otherwise, we're gonna go bankrupt paying for old nuclear weapons that are dangerous, don't do anything to protect us, and we can't afford to maintain, and that's not how we fight wars. So they serve no purpose. So the logical thing to do if we're trying to save money and get out of our debt is to start streamlining our defense and focus on ways we can have an effective military rather than a crazy expensive military. And so I think that's where we're headed because the big expense, something like a quarter of our budget is defense. Let's look at Social Security. No, I think that it's just not how we fight wars anymore. When was the last time we launched a nuclear weapon? August of 1945? Come on, man. It's just not, it's not war in 2025. Let's take a look. Six of Cups, the people win. Going back to the people, back to the garden. You know what happened? COVID happened. People stopped working. They got back into their gardens. They started to listen to Chopin music. And once they left, you couldn't get them back. You couldn't get them back to, they don't want to do it anymore. We're going to take your job, little girl. We're going to, who cares? We're moving to Mexico. It's cheaper. I mean, like, people cannot be controlled anymore. But Six of Cups is like you go back to the garden, back to life, back to reality. Six of Cups is a beautiful energy. It's new loves returning. The opposition to us, or the opposition is angry. Knight of Swords is angry wind chi. It can be a storm. It can be a virus because it attacks the wind system, the lungs, wei chi, our immune system, right? So the Knight of Swords is an angry, violent wind. So the people are doing great. Our enemies, people that want to attack us, maybe they want to take away Social Security, maybe that population of people in DC, I can tell you it's not popular because one of the things I always feel when I go into the Knight of Swords energy, which is chaos, a bull in a broken china shop, people get like that when they don't have control. When you've got real control, you don't act like that. So the fact that the opposition to Social Security is angry and has no control is good for us, right? The hope and the fear, scholarship. So, can we resolve our budget crisis? Can we come up with intellectual ways? The final outcome is great. Strength. I like it. Emperor is logic and reason. It could also be the courts. It is such an embedded institution, it would be nearly impossible. And he would have to go through the courts. It just wouldn't happen. Lovers, again, also auspicious. This is love energy. It's also it would also be in a political reading that it's bipartisan. So I would argue that Social Security is a bipartisan. The seniors that vote for the GOP don't want their Social Security taken away. And then the opposition to the Social Security, angry, out of control, and refuses to budge, Four of Cups. So I would say they're not happy about the situation, but who cares? The people win. Hopes and fears, Six of Pentacles, the mercy being shown from the from the government, the legal mercy to get what is ours. Six of Pentacles, our money. That is the hope and the fear. And the final outcome for us at this time is the devil. So the devil over power. The emperor, the president, the lead is associated with devil or addiction, codependency. For the biggest threat to our future is that we be dependent upon things that are not serving us or leadership that does not serve us. That is how I would interpret that reading. If we lose our Social Security, it's because too many Americans were bound to leadership that did not have their best interest at heart. That is the warning. Well, emperor is like the king. He's the emperor. Devil would be like a codependent or an addictive relationship associated with the person in leadership. So we're not gonna lose our Social Security. The only way we would lose our Social Security is if we wound up in some crazy cult with some leader that, and then we chose through our unhealthy addiction to this leader to destroy everything. Wanting Social Security to go public and be invested in the stock market, for example, was one of the ideas that they had suggested, and a lot of people were opposed to put it in the market. And then they used the argument, "Well, you'd be rich right now because the market is so great." Yeah, but what if you retire during a stock market crash and you lose I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's a bad idea. Yeah, and they always say it every 10 years when it's a bull run, you know, um, uh, they never talk like this during a bear market, right? We must explain to people that they not vote or support any leadership that doesn't have look at what they're doing, you know, what laws. Don't be attached to anybody, look to the laws basically with those types of cards. Stephanie Stevens, hi, Whimsy. Hi. It's strange air in Oceanside, California. We do have to consider that it is an El Niño, which means drier weather. My daughter lives in Lake Oswego, and they've been getting a lot of it. Really? Because it's really dry here. I've been out for the last couple days. It's bluest skies you've ever seen, man. I love it, but I'm also thinking, I don't think this is normal and not my childhood. This is not well, I remember January when I was a kid. Not Never been like this when I was a kid. I mean, I'm loving it because it's becoming like California. Uh, it's beautiful. It's great. I had a sunny day. I went and worked in my garden. It's great. I've got stuff that's starting to blossom early. I love it, right? That's what you would think, right? But it's actually really bad because and then your stuff grows and then it freezes because you got wacky weather and then everything dies and then you have to start. It's just crazy weather. Okay, so we're looking at Xi out of China. I don't think he has a future because I think people are a lot of people in China want to take Xi out because Xi is like a nightmare, right? She is getting people a little nervous. They are nervous over Xi. Xi's future, Taiwan. He's powerless, 8 of Swords. He's completely tied down due to what Biden did to him. Tied down. He's like Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels. What is the allegory of Gulliver's Travels? Did you guys ever read Gulliver's Travels? When he's tied and bound by lesser people, what the symbolism of Gulliver's Travel was? That this big burly guy is gonna get taken down by these little midgets that come together, and it's really kind of a play on power too, isn't it? In the sense that it was written during all these revolutions that were taking place in France and Britain, where the little people all of a sudden decided that they didn't wanna be controlled or they didn't wanna be, dominated by the king. So you also had things happening. You had the execution of King Charles, right? So 8 of Swords has that element that we think about, which is the symbolism that we find in the story of Gulliver's Travel. And in Gulliver's Travel, you have the symbolism of the big, big man What's gonna take out the big, big guy, that honking man? You would think somebody that big, nobody's gonna take him out, right? But the story unfolds that when he least expected it, he falls asleep, he has a happy nappy, maybe he eats too much and, eating and drinking and everything else, right? And when he wakes up, he is bound by the people. Maybe he had too much ale, maybe he ate too many chicken wings, right? But the point is that he becomes tired and lazy, and he puts his work aside, and when he wakes up, there's a revolt, and the little people have taken control of the situation, and thus ends the powerful, Gulliver, right? He is completely at the mercy of these little people. So, when we go into the energy of the first house of Trump, we have the same energy and the same symbolism that we see in Gulliver's Travels. The little people. The little people have come in, and the little people will control the leader. They don't like him. They don't like what he represents. They don't like his assault of power, and they will control and contain this king. That is the prediction of this card. It also harkens back to this idea, that look, folks, this has happened before. Just as it happened at the time of Jonathan Swift, right? If a king or a leader cannot do his job, the people will do what is necessary to take control of the situation. And that is precisely what the cards predict for this individual. He will be controlled. He will be contained. His opposition is everybody that has this idea of power run amok, right? So Gulliver's Travel is this idea that everything balances itself out in the end because people will control somebody when they're out of control. Eventually, it happens. The opposition at this time is victorious. We stand with the Ace of Swords. All right, let's talk about it. Those of you who are in my tarot class, the tears that are shaped like the Yud in Hebrew, which is the 10th letter in Hebrew, we can see tears are dropping, crying, right? And we can see a laurel wreath of victory that crowns the survivor, right? We call it the survivor's card, and it stands in the opposition. So opposition to Trump is the winner. They are victorious. In terms of the actual timeline for swords, if you are learning how to read the cards, I say 1 year. And that is because the Ace of Swords was based on the premise of January. She drew it to symbolize the year, the time of January. January 1st, your life starts all over again. Everything begins anew. I'm gonna kill it this year, right? Gonna build a mountain, right? You've got that attitude like, can do, that Ace of Swords. The new year comes in. The other thing that I like is that she has chiseled the Ace of Swords to be an ice sculpture. And so it's ice. The hand is ice. It's in a cloud of ice. The mountains are covered in ice. You can feel that January ice energy moving in the 1 year of the victory card of the 1 year. So I'm going to go ahead and say comfortably that within 1 year, this individual will be controlled. You guys want to talk about it? Surprised, not surprised. But that is the point. The point is that this is what human beings do. We've done it before. They chopped the king's head off. He was corrupt. He had he had this prostitute and that prostitute and this thing going on and that thing. And they hated his wife, who was a devout Catholic. And, there were all these problems going on with King Charles. And Eventually, the people couldn't take it anymore, and they rose up and they chopped his head off. And so this idea of the energy of that this individual is going into this kind of spiraling energy of the Eight of Swords. He is slowly, slowly, slowly being further and further controlled, and his opposition comes as the Ace of Swords is not auspicious for him at all. The hope and the fear at this time, poverty. If you're asking me about Xi, if you're asking me about Trump, if you're asking me about anybody who takes over too much power, this question was about Xi, but it also overlaps energetically, I think, with Trump's cards. But if you're asking me again, the question was specifically about Xi. It also reminds me of the communist revolution in the sense that the this is a replay of the communist revolution in China, in the sense that the people rise up against the emperor, and the consequences are liberation for China. And the fact that Xi would have these types of cards and this type of imagery coming to him, and that they're giving us a message, the cards, that he will be taken over within 1 year. The people will rise up against Xi, and they will take him out within 1 year. And I'm gonna go ahead and further predict, because the cards are, mirror, similarly what we see with Trump's reign, the same cards. We see both Trump and Xi will probably fall in 2025. History repeats itself, doesn't it? Tyrants fall. They always fall because the people can't take it anymore. Final outcome for Xi, a new horizon. 3 of Wands stands in the final outcome. The ship is coming in. Very good news for China. It means that their trade's gonna open up. And that's good, because if the trade opens up, it could be an indication of a new trade route. I'd like to see, because Xi is contained, and within 1 year, we could see him overthrown. That's interesting, that 3 of Wands, which is quite auspicious. It means the trade. Remember, it was always about trade. 3 of Wands moving in as the final outcome. I gotta know more. Regarding Xi being contained, yes, there's war. They're at war with Xi. The people of China have declared war on Xi 100%. War falls over Xi. The opposition has 1 year to take him out. Yes. Different groups and factions will come together and unite to take out Xi. It will be a united effort. Dang, I am loving these cards. I am loving these cards. I mean, this is so, oh my God, I'm so happy. The people. That is the message from Spirit. Where is your faith? Where is your faith in the people? The sin of the people. What is the sin of the people? From Hashem, from the creator's perspective. Like, what is the creator saying? Or the great communicator in the sky with these cards is saying to us, "O ye of little faith, O ye of little faith, you have so underestimated the power of your fellow human being. Your sin was that you lost faith in your fellow human being. That is the sin. You underestimated just how great human beings can be. You underestimated how we will come together and seek justice absolute. It is a fundamental part of our humanity to seek justice absolute, and that is why all tyrants fall eventually." And the final outcome, the hope and the fear of the people, poverty, by the way. Poverty was the fear of the people of China. It was typified by hopes for better days. And the final outcome for Xi and China, the people of China, The people of China will take over. By the way, there's intellectuals, academics, and mastery coming in. So that also tells me that they're going to use possibly the law in order to remove Xi, their existing system. She's finished. I give them 1 year. And by the way, Trump's cards are almost identical, but Trump's cards are even worse because I don't think Trump has a year, to be honest with you. I think Xi's cards are better than Trump's, and according to these cards, he could be taken out. The people will probably take him out within a year. Why did Trump take podium? Psych speaking. Oh, I don't really understand that question. Thank you, though, Holly, for the donation. I don't really understand what you mean by him taking a podium, and I don't know. He walked off with a podium? I don't know. I don't think. Oh, I'm glad there's a storm coming. Yeah, so in terms of the people are going to dismantle the tyrants. That's the answer. All right. Trump looked old and haggard this morning. Yeah, I'm worried about his health. It could be. I'm a doctor. It's my job to worry about people's health. But wow, my cough is gone. That really helped. I'm going to put this up more often. Did you guys notice it worked? What I would say, what did I want to add to this? What I would say is that we could be seeing him losing a tremendous amount of weight because he finally, there's finally this drug called Ozempic. The problem is that seniors don't always look good when they lose a lot of weight. And Ozempic people joke that it's called hollow cheeks because in Hollywood, everybody knows who's on Ozempic and who isn't because their cheeks start to get really hollow. It leaves and that's not necessarily attractive, by the way. Hollow cheeks, being a little pudgy, might actually make you more attractive the older we get because we lose filler, right? So if you lose the fat, you're going to look really old. So it might be that not that he's sick, but he's just on Ozempic, and so he's starting to lose a lot of weight, which is good. Good, we want that because it's better for your heart. But that drug does give you that sallow kind of a look. It's not very attractive. It's beautiful actors, but I'm a doctor and I can see it on a lot of people. I'm just like, like Sharon Osbourne she started to get too thin. She started to look skeletal, and it's like, honey, that's impacting your bones. You need to it's too much. It can be too much. All right, so let's look at Trump's health. I am a little worried. Yeah, get off that drug. Just eat sensibly and exercise. He wasn't that overweight. It wasn't like he was a whale or anything. And he was physically active because he's on the golf course. That's exercise, right? Let's see if we can find out anything about Trump's health right now. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. We're getting real close to 100K. I'm excited. Okay. Ooh, you guys have some good questions, I'm just noticing. Okay, Trump's health. Knight of Cups. His doctors have advised him to take it easy. Knight of Cups saunters, takes it easy. So this is a guy who probably should take it easy. Pace yourself. You're not a young man anymore. You've got a lot on your plate. You're running a country. Knight of Cups is easy breezy. The opposition to his health is Page of Pentacles, his job. Page of Pentacles is the opposition to his health. Page of Pentacles is to receive a job. He took the job. Being the president of the United States is bad for his health. Trump, the reincarnation of Caesar? I thought Putin. I thought the readers thought Putin was the reincarnation of Caesar. Is that right? Yeah. Putin is Caesar, which is why Putin will probably get assassinated. Hopes and fear. I hope he doesn't, but he's building the same karma as Caesar. Putin is. and they look almost the same. It's creepy. There's a lot to it, but, and other people think that, Putin was part of Rasputin, but Rasputin and Putin may have had the same incarnation, and Rasputin Putin must be the same person as Caesar, because Caesar also had that charm, but then eventually, same thing happens to Caesar, right? People get he wasn't it that wasn't the reason that they felt he outspent the Senate, right? He bankrupted the Senate. His campaign, I believe his campaigns bankrupted the Senate. People can correct me if I'm wrong, but that was ultimately why they felt they had no choice but to take out Caesar. So, same thing, the people will get when this problem happens, people get organized and they take you out. So, um yeah, it's the way it is. So, in terms of Trump's health, hopes, and fears, grief. There's a grief over him, a depression. His biggest health obstacle is being overworked, and his final outcome is the high priestess, which is my card for Israel. I know his great accomplishment is going to be that he's gonna broker, peace in the Middle East. It's gonna be under his presidency. And not because he did anything nice, but because they paid him to create peace. A bunch of that's what it's starting to look like, a bunch of Middle East leaders, the Israelis, Elon, Bezos, Zuckerberg, all got together and said, "Look, we'll pay you a bunch of money to get the fuck out of the way while we create an international peace proposal. We don't like you. We all voted for Biden, but but by getting rid of you, this is the fastest way we can implement this and begin the Abraham Accords, and we're all gonna become trillionaires." Right? But so they're just using him. He's nothing to them. I mean, that's the harsh reality, isn't it? Think about it. Think about it. Why are they there? Is it because they like Trump all of a sudden after years of saying that they hated him and that he was old and senile? No, it's because this guy is gonna give them business opportunities, and there's no bigger business opportunity right now. Let's be very clear here. The biggest trade deal is MBS. MBS, Saudi Arabia. There's Bezos. Over there, look to the left. There's Zuckerberg. They like this guy? Since when? Oh, there's Trump. There's Obama. Oh no, that's not Obama. Good looking guy. Thought it was Obama. um, yeah, these are the people that are investing in the Abraham Accords, right? So what do we know about the Abraham Accords? We know that a lot of people are going to make a lot of money, but how are they going to make a bunch of money? By getting rid of a bunch of people. So the only way that they can make it happen is they have to pay people to go away. And that meant literally paying for this guy's administration so that he would get out of the way so they could do whatever they like. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, this has been going on for a long time, right? We've talked about that. We've talked about these financial dealings like, hey, do you want to be in on this deal? Do you want to be on this deal? Because if you're in on this deal, hey, you can make some cash, right? It's not because they care necessarily. I think they do care. I think that the world has gotten I do think that the world has gotten tired of war. I think after October 7th happened, the massacres, I think people did get to a point where, they just wanted to see the end of war. And I think that that is ultimately, yeah, where we're headed. Yeah, it's interesting also to see that the outcome here is the card, the High Priestess, which is wisdom. It's also the ability to rise above things and to be able to see the hidden truth of things. When we think about this particular card, the High Priestess, we're thinking about hidden knowledge of the Torah. That's why I've always thought about it as part of Israel, right? Like um, trying to get Bezos to be invested in the Abraham Accords, rebuilding the Middle East in bringing in a new trade route. That was something that people had been talking about for a really long time. And could we succeed? Could we succeed or not? Would we succeed or not? So it doesn't surprise me who we're seeing. And I think that I do think that they're going to succeed, because what I think is going to happen is I think that Trump wants this to be his baby, and then he gets all the attention, and then everybody's going to talk about how he did this peace deal, and then he gets to get credit for it. But all he did was take a bunch of money and get out of the way so that MBS can go ahead and do his deal for the Abraham Accords. The other thing I would say about the Abraham Accords is that the Abraham Accords isn't going to just involve the Middle East. The Abraham Accords is going to involve Europe. Europe wants to have a piece of the action. You think about someone like Meloni out of Italy. Why is Elon Musk hanging out with her? Fascistic, yeah. She wants Italy for Italians, right? But ultimately, what's really happening here? Can we see the forest through the trees? I think we can. I think we all know where we're headed here. We're headed toward east. Right? The Abraham Accords, my loves. It's happening. We can't stop it. Do we want to stop it? This thing that's happening. What do you think? Would you want it? All they need Trump to do all they need you to do, Trump, all we need you to do is get out of the way. Get out of the way. They're using him. And this is why I just want everybody to relax. This is why I'm telling you guys, there are things happening out there that are good. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know that when you're in a situation, when you deal with somebody this crazy, you think, oh my God, we're in so much trouble. We're in so much trouble. But I'm telling you, he's not important. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, you know, they paid him. He'll do anything for money. That's what it looks like to me. At war. The thing that I will say I'm worried about under Trump's presidency. The thing I'm worried about with Trump's presidency is Putin. You know, Putin, it's not easy to take out Putin. Putin is the greatest, he is considered by most researchers the greatest threat to a global safety. He's got nukes, he's mentally ill, he's friends with Kim Jong-un, he's willing to do anything. The world knows they have to take out Putin, and Putin knows the world is out to take him out. I see this war card, and it has me very, very concerned. And that's because when you look at the mathematics, we've talked about the mathematics of where we're pretty sure the next year is headed, just based on the data. We're looking at NATO getting involved with war with Russia. And that's because it's inevitable. And the reason why experts think it's inevitable is because Putin doesn't want to leave, right? So if Putin doesn't want to leave, then he has to be forced out. And the same is true for, let me see if I can find, did you guys see the phases? Yeah, here's the phases. I'll let you guys see these phases. Here's the mathematics. I've shown this to you guys, but it's nice to look at the mathematics. Most researchers agree this is the mathematics. So where the world is going is they got to ceasefire. Then we're moving on to phase 2. Biden mentioned these 3 phases, right? So this is what's happening in the world right now. This is what we can globally expect over the year. If they clean out Gaza, which I hope they will, and get people to safe harbor, they're going to probably do that. And then if Hamas refuses to leave, they'll liquidate them. They will just total them. They'll incinerate them. That's why they're trying to get people to safety out of Gaza, because phase 2 is leave or we will incinerate you. You've got, take the offer, and then 3 is the rebuild. But 4, we're getting close to taking out Putin. If you look at if you're looking at what NATO is doing, this is what NATO is doing. I mean, because that's basically it. I mean, they've publicly said it. I mean, I just jotted down, but it's globally recognized now. We're taking Putin out, right? And we're taking out Iran. So, the concern is that we're going to be in a nuclear situation, right? So I don't like seeing that night of sort. We're very vulnerable right now. The whole world is very vulnerable. Phase 2 to 5 is scary because we're taking out Iran. This is scary times. The hopes and the fears are the opposition, a Queen of Swords. Justice. So for Trump, his opposition is going to be the courts. The hopes and fears, war. King of Wands is the war. He's Mars. He's the Mars king, just to let you guys know, for those of you who learn Tarot. And then the final outcome for Trump, his health, 10 of Swords. I just don't know how else I can give this message to you other than to say he doesn't mean anything to them. I mean, I guess that would be how I would interpret these cards, is that I hope you understand from these cards that this man, Trump, doesn't mean anything to these people. Do you understand? That's my message from Spirit. We will use him until we get the Abraham Accords up and running. We will liquidate Hamas. We will incinerate them in Gaza if we have to. These are tough decisions the Democrats never would have let us do because we're going to kill people. We're going to incinerate them. And then we will rebuild, right? So it's a very brutal, harsh, cruel, ugly, brutal war. And that is precisely what happened in World War II with the Marshall Plan in Japan. It was brutal, and we incinerated people. And if the Democrats had been in control of this Democratic Party, we never would have dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Their argument, whether it's true or not, is that sometimes you got to drop the bomb. Sometimes you got to be tough. You got to be cruel to be kind. This is their argument, whether you agree with them or not. And that means we're going to incinerate Gaza. We're going to take all the civilians out. We're going to save them and get them to Sinai. We're going to get them to a safe harbor. We're going to incinerate any Hamas that refuses to leave, any Islamic Jihad. And then once the place is cleaned out, we will rebuild with the help of the Abraham Accords. No, 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 that is a lie. There is no tunnel planned for Gaza. The tunnel does not even have anything to do with Gaza. There is a tunnel. Well, Zenk lies a lot over at TYT, and it's a full-time job just to debunk everything that comes out of Zenk's mouth. But there's also a rumor going around that the rebuild means they're going to go into Gaza. No, we're actually going around Gaza. It starts in Eilat and goes around Gaza. There's no point to build a canal in Gaza because there already is a canal. The Suez Canal is next. So what would be the point? That's a stupid argument. No, you go. The canal starts in Eilat. They don't care about Trump. Do you understand? They don't care. It's nothing to them. Everyone you're seeing is a Democrat that voted for Biden who has decided to incinerate Hamas. That's the only thing they got in common. And they want a piece of that pie, man. They want the same thing that Italy is getting. That's what this is about. It's not about the fact that they love Trump. There's Zuckerberg. They don't love Trump. They can't stand Trump. He's an object. He's just somebody to use. And so for that reason, the final outcome for Trump is the Ten of Swords. When we are done with him and he has served his purpose, should take us about 5 months, we'll flush him down the toilet because we got what we wanted. Hey, it's the art of the deal. You guys want to talk about it? Horrified, disgusted. Hey, birds of a feather. Must perfection be the enemy of the good? Do they have a point? Could we have done this under the Democrats? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we could have done this under the Democrats. I'd like to believe we could have, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sorry to say that. What we are seeing is a miracle. Trump is just an object. Let perfection not be the enemy of the good. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor study war no more. We are on the brink of something great. Mark my words, this president is going to be betrayed by his own once they get what they need from him. And that should happen within the next 5 months. Yeah, it's a brutal world out there. It is a brutal, brutal world out there. But when we think about the greater picture, what will come from this is something really great. I don't like those people either, but I don't want perfection to be the enemy of the good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone who's been spending this beautiful Hot Topics Thursday with me. If you're trying to get in for a tarot reading or consultation with me, please reach out to me. You can book me through Doxy or through Booksy. The information is below, and then I call you. It's really cool. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Bye.